Greetings, Warriors of the Ring. My name is Strider656, and I'm so thrilled to welcome you back to yet another adventure through Middle Earth. In this series, I'll be playing random ladder matches on Discord and showing you War of the Ring games from my perspective by only viewing my cards and sharing with you my thoughts and in-game reactions while trying to keep the end result a mystery. The other player is well aware that I'm making a video as I seek permission both before and after playing. I hope that you like this video, and I encourage you to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. This video features Thistlefoot. Thistlefoot is very new to the community, so I'm really excited to actually introduce these people. He's played for about 4 years. I found the game randomly in the store. It said he's been a board game enthusiast for a long time, and once he saw there was a Lord of the Rings themed game, he had to try it. He even has a copy of the old SPI game with the same name. He says I have to get a copy of the second edition. I think the cards have changed a little, but he also owns a collector's edition, which is super rare. So those are really expensive. I think they sell around like $2,000. Let's see what else he said. He joined the community by finding a post in Board Game Geek. He's played 20 ladder games, and he says he bought the collector's edition when it came out. Played a few times in person, but hard to find live opponents, which is true. I play against like one person, literally. That's it. And I played Ira once in person, which was really exciting. So anyway, so in traditional fashion for these adventure games, I have the opponent choose what side they want to play. So Thistlefoot chose to play Free People, and I'm playing Shadow. So here we go, everyone. Let's just jump into it. I draw into... Well, I can't see my hand. Let's go. There we go. Nazgul Strike and Corsairs of Umbar. This is the second game in a row, I believe, where I've drawn Corsairs early. So the Southrons want to be done with their barbecuing, which is great. He says, Fellowship, okay. I do no eyes, and I roll no eyes. Thankfully, I do have 2 musters here, so I'm hoping he gets, like, garbage for movement. And he gets great movement. He says, sounds like you play a very aggressive Shadow. I say, well, at least I have musters. That's how I was trained. I was trained by Galahad B. In terms of how to get better. He used to watch a lot of my games, so shout out to Galahad and Maester James and Ira and everyone else. So anyway, he says, yes, I once played a Shadow game where I could not roll a muster until turn 3. Yeah. I say, I have 2, which I'll take. He passes. So I decide to draw into a card I can play. And I draw into Return of the Witch King. Can't play that. He passes. Draw another card. Draw the Fighting Urukai. Can't play that. So no more card draws for me. So I decide to do my army movement first. And I just do Barad-dûr here to Gorgoroth and Farharad to Nirharad. He moves the Fellowship. I say safe. So at least in this game, Gandalf doesn't die right away, which is rare. So Gandalf actually makes it a Rivendell. Congratulations, Gandalf. You did it. You made it one move at least. So I just remind him how to move the die with Control M using the Java client. I move Isengard to war. He asks me questions about other games. He says, "You like the expansion?" I say, "Loam is excellent. It's so fun." He says, "Yeah, Wom seems to have too many things to do." I don't think I responded here, but I agree. I don't really like Wom. So that's just my opinion. Some people will love it. Anyway, back to the game here. It looks like he moved the Fellowship again, and I moved from Gorgoroth to Morannon, and I moved the guy up here with the intent to play Fighting Urukai once I get to Lorien. That's my thoughts. That's why he's here. He mentions he played a few Battle of 5 Army games. He moves the Fellowship while saying it. I said, depends on the opening roll for Shadow. I recently played a game, actually, where my friend and I thought that the game was, like, really balanced. We liked the game until we played late the last game where Shadow got no attacks. It was, like, all musters, and I couldn't do anything as Shadow. It was just broken. So anyway, speaking of mustering, I bring Saruman in and get my other die. I'm worried he's going to give me a ring to move again because that would be great for him because he'd be in Dimral Dale. He played Swords of Eriador. And, yeah, puts his elites there and draws a strategy card. I decided just to move up because it doesn't really tell you anything about where I'm going yet. I draw into Candle of Corpses and Half Orcs and Goblin Men. Half Orcs and Goblin Men is playable. I'll probably play it on this army here. But right now, Sauron's not too happy. I mean, I do have Corsairs. I have some great cards in hand. I'm just hoping that I get more lucky with these rolls because it's been pretty bad. So I allocate 9 because I have to. He says okay, and I roll this. So it's a lot of Palantirs. I see I have 1 attack, but I can bring everyone to war, and maybe I can play these. So I say, wow, this sucks. Palantir City. I said, looks like it'll be a GG for you. No problem. I say I'd rather roll eyes, which is true, because if I'm not gonna do anything like militarily, I might as well hinder the Fellowship with 1 eye. I'm not doing anything. This is a foot reminds me. Oh, I can still lose this. Trust me. I just laughed because it's true. I've had games where I started out really well and then lost. He passes, so I just decide it's time to bring everyone to war. Sauron goes to war. I pass. The Southern needs to move down, and he passes again, and everyone's to war. He asks about Fate of Erebor. I say nope. I own it, but I haven't tried it. He says Java client does not support it yet, right? So I didn't answer this, but answering it out this is what if you're watching. Java client does support it. There's a way to make it work. He plays 5 Galadriel, and he draws for Gandalf. I move my guys to General Dale here. And my intent now is to start playing cards. I'll play a card. I'll draw a card. I'm going to play half orcs and goblin men here. And I move the guys to Umbar. I also could do Corsairs, but I don't want to do it when there's a muster left, because I'd rather have that be a surprise. He says, I have a feeling there's some Corsairs in my future. I said, that's the standard move, but there might be. So Umbar is getting ready for battle, and I could always play that. He plays Riders of Theoden. It's sort of his muster. And I decide to play half orcs and goblin like my plan is. He says Galadriel is packing her bags. He moves to Fellowship. Let's see if I hit. Drum roll. Here's my first roll of the game, everyone. I answer. I say against my pathetic army. LOL. And I roll a 2. And I draw a strategy card. And I draw into Shadow Lengthens. This is a great card to get here. So I know for sure I'm going to use them to go here. I don't know my second move yet. Let's see what I do. He moves the Fellowship, and I miss. So he's at 5 movement. And I play Shadow Lengthen, so 1 is there. I'm probably going to play these 2 up here. Let's see. Yeah, I do, because I think that makes sense just to move them. Might not be efficient, though, to be honest. Maybe a better move is to go here, but I don't know if I'm going to draw into some mustering cards. So, I don't know. I like the move. The more important move was to get these guys here, so I'm happy with that. I guess I could have moved that guy into here as an option. Rewatching. All right. And we go to the next turn. I draw into Pits of Mordor and Orc Patrol. I like all my cards, but I think my worst card is Nazgul Strike. So that's what I'm going to get rid of. And he declares Pass Moria. I say, okay. The danger of this is now I can play all these cards. I can play Orc Patrol now. I can play Candle of Corpses. Whereas before, when you're in Rivendell, I can't play those. But I don't plan to play anything with Gandalf as the guide anyhow. Just because. I say Fellowship good. He says, yep. And I finally had a decent roll. Decent. And he has no wills here, which is good for me. He says, I say better for me. He says, now your offensive can start. So turn 3, we're looking at some attacks possibly. Let's see what I do. He starts moving the Fellowship. I miss again. And now I decide to... So again, yeah, I don't know. I mean, now it's a 10 stack, and I move these guys up. So I'm definitely committing to the Dune line. He notices it. Thistlefoot says, the Dune line seems to be a popular opening. I don't respond to that. It's true. It's the most popular opening, because there's easy 5 points up here. I mean, come on. And I move this guy's out here. I believe 1 behind, just in case, so he doesn't do any shenanigans of retaking in here. Passes again, and now I just move up. So I'm just getting my armies in position. That's my plan. And I move these guys up here into from Southern to Eastern. He decides to block me and just do Erebor here, which makes perfect sense. I attack as Gilead. Now my plan is, with these actions, I don't care about the Witch King. I'll get him later. I want to get Minas Tirith under siege, and then I want to put Dol Amroth under siege. Because I don't want to attack the elves yet anyway, because I don't want Círdan showing up. That's my thoughts. So here we go. Sauron attacks his Gilead. I decide I want to play a Swarm of Bats here, which cancels Confusion. I would have got a hit to myself, so good play there. And he mentions it too. And I get 2 6s. Very lucky. Happy about it. He says, so much for Faramir's buddies. I say, adios. So we're moving in. He plays Strangel's Archers to draw another strategy card. And now I'm attacking Minas Tirith. Now they're at war. He moves the Fellowship again. And I finally hit. So he draw 3, which is perfect for Gandalf. So again, he could have still been in Rivendell safe. He says, Gandalf, no, LOL. I say, spoiler. And Corsairs of Umbar, so now they're on the move. And I'll bring them all, because I'm not really in fear of a military victory against me. Because I can always muster up. And I have bits of Mordor as well, just to surprise him, if he tries coming for Moria. So I'll have that in hand. So we go to turn 4. I draw into Many Kings and Breaking the Fellowship. He says, don't think Aragorn's getting crowned this game. I said, well, Pelargir is open for him. He declares into West Wheel. I say, okay. He says, yes. And I just roll Palantirs. So this is a big Palantir game. I'm just curious of my Palantir ratio and stats. I'm just going to look. Yep, I'll share this with you so you can see. Yeah, I'm +4 in Palantirs this game. And he's pretty average. So that's where we are. Let's go back to the game so you can see. All right. So it's a Palantir heavy game for sure. He rolls Palantirs too. And he gets his Will of the West right away, which is awesome for him. So he starts with that. Here's my thoughts at this point. So I'm thinking I want to, because he has these showing, he might have Imrahil. And he had to do this play. So I just want to take out Dol Amroth. That's my plan. I just want to take him out. So I attack them, and I play Great Host. I could have used the Many Kings for the actual ability, but the Great Host is almost a guaranteed hit. I get 0. He gets 1, and Great Host works. I press, take by 1. He does no card. I do no card. Did I take my damage? I'm just looking. I do. Okay. I was making sure because I've made mistakes before. I get 1 hit. With no card. I press again, and I think I can get 1/6 on 5 dice. This is risky. I mean, I could play a Desperate Battle, but I want to save this for if he goes military. And I luckily get my 6. He says, you got them. I did. Very lucky. I said it was risky, but I don't need Imrahil. So, great job. First Blood goes to the Southrons and Easterlings. So they went pillaging. They did their mission. Great job. I say it was risky, but I don't need Imrahil to show up. It was no leadership, but you keep rolling Palantirs. So that's true. I said, yeah, super fun. He says, so did I this turn. I say, LOL, pass. I let him know there. I was worried you'd play something, so I used the attack after the Gandalf thing. And now, because they're out here, I can play Orc Patrol. If the Fellowship had stayed in Rivendell, I couldn't play this. So I'm slowing them down. He says, well, that makes my next dice decision easy, and he flips them. I play Candle of Corpses on him, hoping for a hit. I got a 50% chance of getting a hit on each die. So I don't know what that percentage is. And look at that roll. It's 3 3s. I just put an exclamation point. I say, F that. And I say, that's a Jorick roll. So Jorick, if you're watching, you know what I'm talking about. So this is not going my way this game. He says, I am getting insanely lucky here. We'll pay for that in Mordor. He plays Axe and Bow. I think, and I decide to bring the Witch King in because I need an extra die. And I'm not going to be able to put the elves under siege here, so there's no point in attacking into here. I do have Fighting Uruk-hai, so I could have done that, put them to war, but then he's mustering up like a madman here. And Sauron doesn't want to see the elves muster. Let's see what he does. He musters some people in the way here. And I draw a strategy card. I get Deadly Stripe, because we all know Return to Valinor sucks. So I'm happy about that draw slightly. Now and go to the next turn. We're in turn 5. I draw into Hill Trolls, which is great because I can reinforce here, and Floxive Kerbane, which is horrible, but it has a good character effect, or the combat effect. He discards. I say okay, and he's good. Fellowship is good. I allocate an I. Oh no, I don't because he didn't move. So I allocate no I's. I roll 1, and he rolls this. So look at these Palantirs. I say these rolls are awful. WTF. So at least you get 4 attacks here. Ha. Little as you know, I actually have 5 attacks as I have with the Fighting Urukai. I say yay. He moves the Fellowship. I miss. I attack Old Forest Road because I want to get the elves under siege first before I do my... so I'm going to do attack. So 1, 2, 3, 4 with Fighting Urukai and maybe Woodland Realm. I do no card. He does no card. He says he's so dead. And now he plays Grimbjorn. And I'm like, ugh. So I'm ignoring the north at this point. I will not attack Dale. I will not attack Kara because I don't need them to go to war and be annoying. I say, but Woodland Realm. I don't know why I said but for. So I said, not the but, lol. So we're in Woodland Realm. The elves move down 1. He passes. I attack Lorien. And the elves don't move down 1. I forgot. He reminds me to do it, so I do. He's okay, yes, they are down to 1 away. He passes, and now I'm fighting Urukai. It's a good move. I decide to start with Deadly Strife because he can't block it. He does have 2 strategy cards in hand. And he has 3 guys in here, and I have a lot of troops, and I do have three combats here, so I'm thinking I can do it. My opening roll is 4, and he rolls 3 back. He says bloody. Going to round 2. I draw a strategy card. I get Stormcrow. Do I play it? No, because I just need to get 1 more. Plays a heroic death, but nothing happens there. There's no death. He says she was very heroic. And she was, because she gets a 6. We assume she is Galadriel, by the way. So no card, and I get my 6. And he gets a 6, so I decide to downgrade my, what's it called? I can't think. My elite Isengard unit, because there's not a lot in the pool. That way I can bring him to Orthanc later. That's my thoughts. So Fighting Urukai did its job, and now I'm at 4. Now I use Hill Trolls. It says nice card. I say I agree. He was the Fellowship. Now he's 1 away from Mordor. So I'm terrified at this point. So I need to... He can't get into Mordor now or I'm screwed. So I have to figure out a way to delay him. But I'm also think, well, I could try to take Minas Tirith. And I play Great Host, thinking if I'm lucky, I could roll like 5 6s. I roll 1 6. So he'd be down to 4 still. So he just needs like 2 hits to make this not go off, and he gets 4 back. This is horrible luck. This is horrible luck. I decide to press anyway, and I'm gonna play Desperate Battle here and hope I can get 5 hits. Because I feel like I'm due. Apparently I'm not. I get 2 hits back, and he gets 3. So this is over. This battle's over. But my thoughts are, and this is crazy thinking, so I'm just going to explain it to you. I want to distract him from using a ring to move the Fellowship. That's my goal. I want to distract him. So I'm thinking he's going to use his musters now to like muster up in Gondor and like retake Minas Tirith. I don't plan to take Minas Tirith, just so you know. Because I have 2 points here, right? That's 2, 4. Then I want to get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or 10. And Minas Tirith is not in my equation. So he decides to muster up outside. I decide to muster up out here, just to threaten. He moves another leader in a regular to Pelargir, to leader here. So I'm proud of this. And I draw a Day Without Dawn. So we go into the next turn. Turn number 6. I draw into Horde of the East and Lidless Crap. Horde of the East is good for Deadly Strife. Plus, I can always play it, so I can get a lot of troops to go after Erebor. He says Fellowship, okay. And I roll, finally, a decent roll. And I say that. I literally said that. It's so funny. I said in the chat, finally a decent roll. He says, indeed. And yeah, Gondor is getting feisty. So he brings another. He brings his units up into Losterneck and does his traditional move here. I just say, uh-oh, things aren't looking good. He says, they might surprise you. Always tough when cornered. I originally bring an elite here. Then I realized I don't want to do that. So I asked for permission. I said, is it possible if I redo? You always have to ask. You can't just do it. So he lets me do it. Because I want to get the Nazgul out of there. Because I don't have a lot to begin with. So I move my Nazgul into Woodland Realm. And I move one here. And then I decide to put them all on Woodland Realm. He says, Nazgul have something in... Sorry. He says, Nazgul have something in the oven. I just think that's funny. That's a good line. I say, oh, yeah. Yes, they do. Now we're good. And now he plays Help Unlooked For. Which means I only roll one. Oh, shoot. I just realized I screwed this up. Shoot. So I got so distracted by the fact that he didn't card, or that he carded, or didn't card, that I rolled too many dice. So I should have only gotten one hit there. So I am so sorry to Thistlefoot in this replay video. I'm seeing it now. I should not have taken... He should not have taken 3. He should have taken 1. So I'm sorry about that. We'll see if that impacts the rest of the game. He says, now if I only had a will that would warrant a new king. I attack Lorien, but I don't plan to go after here right now anyway. But that could make a huge difference. So I attack, I say Lorien. He gets confused. But he's not used to playing me. And I always call Woodland Realm the wrong thing. And Lorien, I always mix them up. So I play, they are terrible. He plays Confusion back. I get no hits in myself. And with this, I re-rolled too many dice. Because it says on this, you forfeit 1. But I don't get a hit there. So I get 1. He gets 1. So it's not horrible. But I'm just stopping and drawing here because I don't have enough troops out here to merit pressing. He was a Fellowship. And I hit. And I get a 2 reveal. Happy to see that. He uses the axe to bring it up 1. And he says, good time to draw an eye here. Oh, did I not? Oh, I drew draw an eye. Okay, I drew an eye. I say, awesome game here, LOL. So I play Dreadful Spells on Erebor. And I get 2. Not Erebor, I'm so sorry. On Woodland Realm. So the Nazgul finally do a good job. The Witch King is very proud. Normally, they do horrible. So good job to the Nazgul army there. They finally did their job. He flips the Fellowship. I attack Woodland Realm with no card. He only has 2 left. And I want to save my Deadly Strife. I decided to play a card instead because I look and I'm like, I want to play Words of Power because it sucks, so I can cycle it. I say you can choose one now or do no card. He chooses no card. And I roll 0. He says, your card has no effect. I said, yeah, it's a cycle. And he gets 1 back. It looks like... Did something happen? Oh, I pressed. Okay, I pressed this time. And I get a 6. So I wasn't happy. Remember in the game here, I was very mad. And he got nothing back. He says, why'd you take a hit on yourself? I said, because I'm tired. He says, we can take a break if you need to. I said, no, it's fine. It's not a big deal. It was just dumb. I was just dumb there. He asked about my channel for a bit. I do mention that I have a lot of videos on it. I think I might have 50 now. I'll look later. I said I cover Loam and Fury of Dracula. And he recommends my favorite videos. My favorite videos, actually, there's a few of them. And I send them post-game, which are... I like the Brave Aragorn Ran Away. It's one of my favorite ones. In the game against Upward, too. I think that's the game against Upward. All right. And I decide that I want to threaten out here with my last actions. So he'd give me a ring. Otherwise, it looks like I can take Helm's Deep right away. And I want to get rid of the rings. That's my goal. So I attack forwards. I get 2 hits. He says, poor Theodred. He gets no hits back. I move him all in. And he gives me a ring to move there. And 1 guy does go. He should have 2 more troops here. And I feel bad about that. So I decide to... My whole point was to get the ring. So I decide to move my troops out here and move 2 back to protect Saruman. So Saruman feels really safe in Orthanc. Gandalf is hanging out in Fangorn. The Fellowship's doing really well. Really well. 1 corruption going in. He's got so much corruption he can take. We're going to turn 7. He says, okay, Fellowship in Mordor. I do the pool. Let me see if I did it correctly this time because I've screwed up in the past. Removed. Let's check used. Yeah, I did it right. So look at this Hun pool. It looks great for him. And there's no red tiles. And I haven't drawn any. Is the Fellowship okay? He says, yes. And I roll allocate 1 and roll 3 more. And he rolls this. He says, lots of eyes. So you say, yep, not what I wanted. So this is not going well. Sauron is upset. He's rolled a lot of Palantirs this game. I'm doing the best I can, though. He decides to use his will to put Smeagol in the pool. I attack Woodland Realm because I just need to get my army moving. With no card, I get my 6s. He says, they are so dead. He gets 1 back. And he moves, and I draw an eye. So I am so excited here. So he decides to take a random. And I draw Gimli and flips them. And I play Ringrazor Abroad. I could play Breaking the Fellowship, but I'm doing Military Rush here. Because there's no way I can get a Corruption victory. I need to move. And I just move these guys up here using Ringrazor Abroad. And I say I have to do math. He says, Pincer attack movement on Erebor. I'll tell you what I'm thinking here, too. So he flips the Fellowship. Now, I don't want him to move again this turn. Because even if he draws an eye, he still wouldn't be that high in corruption and could soak a lot moving later. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to attack Erebor, and then I'm going to move this guy to Thread and Pelargir. I know it sounds stupid, but that's what I'm thinking. He plays Dane's Ironfoot's Guard, which is great for him. So now could not go worse. I move my guys from Iron Hills into there, and I go with my plan of moving this guy from Near Harad into Pelargir, because then he won't use a ring, and he'll use just an action to move them here. That's what I'm thinking. So he does that. He does exactly what I want. So he musters up here and musters up in Minas Tirith. And I say my plan, and I'm actually accurate. My plan was so he wouldn't use a ring. And I decide to bring the mouth in because we're moving on to another turn. And now I have max dice. You're going to turn 8. I draw into... what did I draw into? Musterings of a Long Planned War and Nazgul's Search. I go to Nazgul's Search. I allocate an eye. Roll 1 more. I think it's a lot of movement. So I feel like I have to win the game here. I have to win this turn. Because he's definitely... he'll be able to move easily. So I attack Erebor. And I play Dread and Despair with the hope that I can actually get some hits. He plays Shield Wall. I forfeit 4, so he only rolls 1. And I get no hits, and he gets no hits. And I stop and draw because I don't want to press. Because I don't have enough troops. He says, Milking Erebor, eh? I pass. He passes. I attack Erebor again. And now I'm thinking, am I thinking Deadly Strife here? Or Swarm of Bats? Swarm of Bats. He plays Heroic Death. And look at this roll. I get 4 6s, which should be 4 hits. But I make a mistake here. I say 4 minus 1. Because he gives me a leader. But that should have been 4, not 3. But I guess we'll call it even in Minas Tirith. He says, that could be a turning point. I said, could be. And now that army looks good. So I press here. And now this is enough to play a Deadly Strife. He plays Strategy card, though. Let's see what he plays. I'm worried it's going to be like Daylight, which would be horrible. He plays Charge with the Círdan ships. I say you first. He gets 2. Very lucky. Very good. And I get 5 hits, which is even better. And he gets none back. So I said they went out like a whisper. So poor Erebor crumbles to the might of the Sauron army there. Very unlikely. He says, they all got tuckered up from that charge. He says, now things are dicey. I say, literally, the whole game is dicey. This game is super random because you have random action dice, you have random battle dice, you have random cards, you have random hunt draws. Everything is random. He says you can get to 10 and I have to get 4 non-reveals. Now he realizes that he has to actually move to win. So I decide to go Edoras and Dale and Pelargir. So I move the Rohan down. What was my second movement? Was that a character action? Boards of Eisen to Westamnet. Oh, okay. And I move out here to reinforce this army. Whatever. It's fine. He says just grabbing Edoras and Dale for a song. But here's what I'm seeing, just so everyone knows. If I take Edoras, right, then he can, they're at war, then he can move and attack, and he probably has end cards. So that's why I'm thinking I probably shouldn't go Edoras. I should go Pelargir and Dale, and then take Edoras later. So he moves the Fellowship. I'm hoping that it's a reveal, and it is. So that could be the game. And he admits it. He says, that'll be the game, I think. I say, I think it might, but let's finish it. You never know. He draws a random here and draws Pippin. And therefore, corruption. I decide to attack Dale now. Using Foul Stench, I get 2 hits, or 1, which is fine. So here we are. I did math too, because he could go 1, 2, attack, and just move for free. So I leave 1 behind. That's my reason. Now I'm at 9. He decides to have the Fellowship, so he's just trying to move to get a better end result. So now I decide, I think actually for a while, and I decide to use a ring. No, not a ring. I decide just to attack a Lambden and Pelargir. That's my thoughts. I get 1. Use the Fellowship, 1 reveal. I use my ring to attack Pelargir, no card. He says, I blame Boromir for blowing his horn every morning. I say, LOL. So let's see how I do. I get my hits, very lucky. And I told him right now, I said, the reason I didn't go Edoras is because I don't want those Rohan units retaking here. Because it's even, and he could have, like I said, end cards that will be brutal for Rohan. So that's why I'm thinking. So that's why I go for 11. But we finish, and we see how far he can get. So he says, sure, let's do that. He lifts the Fellowship. I take Edoras and go to 11. And he moves up to here and draws a 2 and draws Strider. So that's the game. It's a pretty quick one. And sorry I went fast. But it was very swingy. It was very dicey. I guess we can call it a dicey video there. But I might call this the Sauron only sees Palantirs. But let's see what the statistics are. Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to call it that. Very lucky in my dice rolls here for hits. And I got a lot of attacks in the end, but I didn't get a lot of characters. He didn't get much for movement, but he did really well hunt-wise. He was very close to winning. He would have won if he gave me a ring earlier, or if he just moved the Fellowship right away in Mordor and not has been scared as much. Because when you have this many companions, you can soak damage. But I do want to thank Thistlefoot for his game. I really enjoyed playing him. He's got a lot of potential in the community. Don't forget, you can find me on the Discord if you want to play me. And I really enjoyed the game, like I said. Let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment. Give a like. Subscribe. Thank you all for watching this video. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye.